Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah. I am Tariq Mahmood, the Vice Chairman of Havering Islamic Culture Centre. A very warm welcome to everybody. And today we have a very interesting lecture, as usual. We are continuing a series of special live lectures on prominent pious people and prophets in the Quran. Today we are covering the detailed Islamic stories of the next two prophets in the timeline, who are prophets Ilyas, Elias, or known in English as Elijah, and Al-Yasa, which is Elisha, alayhi salam, according to the Quran and Hadiths. The core message of all the prophets was the same every time, i.e. monotheism. Islam is the only religion which practices pure tawheed, that's the oneness of God, and shirk, which is associating partners with Allah in any context, is the only sin which Allah will never forgive. We are all hearing about shirk in the story today. Now, it is customary that we have a short recital from the Holy Quran before we start the lecture. So Surah Ikhlas is the most prominent surah in the Quran which states Tawheed. Prophet Muhammad said that reciting this once has the same reward as reciting 1/3 of the Quran. Subhanallah. Okay. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahu samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. The English nearest meaning to that is, there is only one God, all are dependent upon Him, but He is not dependent on anybody. He Himself has the power over everything. He is far above being the progeny of anybody or having any offspring. Today's presenter is Ustadha Sidra Naeem, who is a qualified teacher and alima. She qualified from Al-Huda International. Her earliest childhood memories of learning about Islam was hearing the Prophet stories as a child from her mother. The first thing she started teaching Islam was then Prophet stories too. She has studied stories in the Quran and Hadiths in detail, including comparative religion from the Torah and the Bible. This makes her very qualified to speak to us today about this important story. All her important lectures are free of charge, and community work is done for dawah and sadaqah jariyah purposes. If everybody could remember to switch off the mobile phones, please, and we'll now invite our esteemed speaker to the front.
Jazakallah khair everybody for coming. It's really nice to see some new people, alhamdulillah, in the audience who are just as high stature actually as me, which is really nice to see. So Jazakallah khair for coming. And inshallah we'll be working closely for future projects as well. Right, so we are now going to talk about two prophets which nobody actually knows about. Very few people know about these two prophets. They're mentioned in the Bible quite a lot, which may be the reason why the story is not repeated in the Quran. We need to remember it's only when stories are distorted in the Bible and Torah, then Allah then reinforces the right message in the Quran. And when stories are okay, sometimes they're not reinforced in the Quran. Okay? However, they are mentioned in Hadiths. Okay? So, prophets Ilyas, who is called Elias or Elijah in Hebrew or Christianity, and Al-Yasa, who is Elisha. Okay? Okay, the last thing that we finished on was actually Yusha's lecture. And we actually finished off that when he died, there were wars started to happen between the Canaanites, the Babylonians, the Palestinians, who were the people of Yusha. There was tribal conflicts going on between the 12 tribes as well, and all of that kind of stuff. And then it's after that then that the next 2 prophets were sent. So I'm going to put a quick video on to explain how we left off.
Yusha alayhi salam, he made an order in the land. He divided the cities into 12 based on the names of the tribes, of the different tribes of the children of Israel. And in every city, Yusha put a judge, one judge, to rule by the Torah. Anyone who goes against the laws of the Torah, then this judge at this court will rule according to Torah. 12 different cities. And Yusha alayhi salam oversaw that all these judges did their role. They had a duty to make sure that the people followed the Torah. There were many battles between the children of Israel in Jerusalem and the people surrounding them. They had many battles, hundreds, with the Canaanites. They kept coming back, the Babylonians, all the people surrounding them, because they all wanted the land of Jerusalem. And he fought with them and led them in that way. And then Yusha alayhi salam died. And then Allah sent other prophets, after prophets, after prophets. The only 2 that are mentioned to us during that time are Ilyas and Ilyasa.
Okay, so let us look at what was going on at the time when Ilyas, Prophet Ilyas alayhi salam came. Okay, first of all, did you know that the massive kingdom of Bani Israel had been split into 2 states? Okay, one part was called Yehudia, which is Judah, and was the capital of Beit al-Maqdis, Jerusalem, while the other part was known as Israel, and its capital was Samaria, present Nablus. Okay, that is one of the things that was going on, was a big split in the kingdom, because as soon as the prophet left, that's when the conflict started again. While Prophet Yusha al-Islam was there, he kept everybody together. It's like parents, isn't it? They keep the family together. As soon as the parents go, everyone gets all distorted. It's a little bit like that. Okay? Then, do you remember the situation before Yusha al-Islam entered the land? There were corrupt kings, wasn't there? Yes? So do you know what? There was a corrupt king there again into the land. The leaders had become very weak and tyrant kings had appeared. Okay? The name of the king who ruled the Israeli region was Ahab in the Bible. Okay? But he's also mentioned in Arabic texts as well as Ajib or Ahib as well. He's mentioned in the Arabic text. Okay? Can anybody guess what else may have been happening in the land as soon as a prophet goes? What else always is rife in the land? What did you speak about just now?
They start moving away from monotheism.
And
Idol worship starts.
idol worship starts, yes. Paganism. Paganism is the word. What is paganism? Brother Shahab. What is paganism? Do you know? Yes, see, he knows.
And the fire and everything.
Yes, the doctor brother knows. Yeah, excellent. It's worshipping idols. It's associating partners with Allah as well. Okay? Paganism is what the Arabs were doing before Islam got there in the first place. But paganism was also in this land before the Christians came here. Okay? And all the nations, whenever a prophet sent, it's always because of paganism. So it wasn't just normal paganism. They were worshipping massive statues, huge ones. Okay? And the people had completely moved away from worshipping Allah. And instead they were worshipping these massive statues. Okay? Now, that statue worshipping had moved also to the west of Damascus, which is Lebanon, nowadays Lebanon. But in those days, did you know all of these areas were all Palestine? All of them was. Okay? And there it was even more prominent in the Baalbek region, of Lebanon, okay, there was even more idol worship. Does anybody know why that is? Why was it even more down there? Okay, right, let me tell you then. So, did you know that the king's wife, Jezebel, or Isabel in Christianity, she worshipped an idol called Baal, okay, and it was she had made a massive monument, a very tall one, in the middle of the city, and the entire Bani Israel were actually all going there, and they were all worshipping him, okay. The king blindly did not even question his wife on what she was doing. He blindly gave her the money, gave her as much money as she wanted, without any boundaries and no accountability either of what she's doing. And it was her, she corrupted up the whole of that area, okay? Now, something really important in Islam, we were just speaking about Sadaqah Jariyah, which is ongoing charity that you get right unto the Day of Judgment when you do good things, yes? But nobody talks about the other type, the bad type of Sadaqah Jariyah, which is when you do something bad and you influence others, you get punished right unto the Day of Judgment. So this is an example of the king not having tabs on his wife, not having a look at what she's doing, letting her do whatever she wants. She's made a massive altar of the idol Baal, yes? And then everybody's worshipping that idol. So he's going to be accountable for not asking her or putting stops to it. And she's going to be accountable right until the Day of Judgment, because the amount of people that follow that idol, she will get the bad deeds. Does that make sense to you all? Yeah. So it's really, really important we watch out what is going on. But we will talk about all of that in the morals. Okay? Right. Do you think there's a time for a prophet to come now, everybody?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, we know that already. There's squabbles going on, there's tyrant kings in the land, and the nations have been divided, and idol worshipping is going on big time. Okay? So, our next prophet is going to be from the progeny of Harun alayhi salam. Do you remember we said that Harun alayhi salam helped Musa alayhi salam, and Allah elevated Harun alayhi salam in different ways. So Musa alayhi salam didn't have any children, but alhamdulillah Harun alayhi salam did have children. Okay, so from Harun alayhi salam came Prophet Ilyas alayhi salam. Okay, and Prophet Ilyas alayhi salam was Harun's great-grandson. And he was mentioned 3 times in the Quran. Okay? Here is one of the ayahs of the Quran that mention Prophet Ilyas alayhi salam.
وزكريا ويحيى وعيسى وإلياس كل من الصالحين.
Likewise, we guided Zachariah, John, Jesus, and Elias, who were all of the righteous. And that's in Surah Al-An'am 685. Okay? So along comes Prophet Ilyas. We're going to look at his story now. We're opening up the curtains to the story. And he was born at Jalad in Jordan. And he was sent to the people of Baalbek, which was the west of Damascus in Lebanon. Okay? And Baalbek is the region, and it's from Baalbek that Baal, the idol, was being worshipped. Okay?
إن إلياس لمن المرسلين.
And Elias was indeed one of the messengers. So we know he was a prophet already. He is written in the Quran as a messenger. And he would go to the places where they are worshipping the idols, and he would actually preach pure monotheism and dissuade the Israelites from indulging in idol worship. Okay?
إذ قال لقومه ألا تتقون
remember when he said to his people, will you not fear Allah? That's in chapter 37 of the Quran, verses 1 to 4. Okay? And he was horrified actually at what was going on, so he didn't stop there, he carried on. He called people to the way of Allah and he forbade them specifically stop worshipping that idol called Baal. Baal was the main Canaanite god. Okay? He's mentioned by name in the Quran.
تدعون بعلا وتذرون أحسن الخالقين الله ربكم ورب آبائكم الأولين.
Do you call upon the idol of Baal and abandon the best of creators, Allah your Lord and the Lord of your forefathers? He is saying to them. Okay, now why is Baal mentioned by name in the Quran? Allah hasn't even mentioned even Prophet Muhammad's wife in the Quran. Allah hasn't even mentioned the name of Musa's stepmother, Asya, who was one of the ladies of Jannah. Why has Allah mentioned Baal's name by name in the Quran? This is such an important question. Yes?
The only thing I can think of is because he played a significant part in the story.
Okay, not quite. Yes?
Was it wrong in the Bible so Allah's correcting him?
No, it wasn't wrong in the Bible. No, in the Bible it says Baal as well. Yes.
So it is not to confuse with other people. So this is an idol?
No. Now I have said this question before so many times and other... Do you remember that Lat and Manat are all mentioned in the Quran? Why are they mentioned in the Quran? Yes.
They're still about?
They're still about, thank you. You go to Lebanon and that ugly god is still there, remnants of that god. And Allah has written it in the Quran so you can go and see and then you can think, oh my God, this really happened. Yeah? It's proof, isn't it? It's proof. And Allah has only mentioned certain names in the Quran for a reason. But Baal is mentioned by name. Okay? Right, then he goes along to the king. And it is mentioned that he went to the king of Israel, Ahab, and he told him to shun idolatry and invited them towards pure monotheism. But nobody listened to him. Ahab didn't listen to him. And Isabel, his wife, who was really corrupt, she said, you know what, let's plan to kill him. Let's get rid of him. We don't like his preaching. Okay? So she said, no, I'm not getting rid of that Baal that I built with all the money my husband gave me. Leave him there. That's giving me attention. I'm getting attention from that. People are coming from all the different lands to come and worship that idol. And they're all saying, oh, Isabel made this. Yes? So it is narrated from Gab al-Ahbar. This is all in the book, Ibn Khadir book, which I will show you at the end, saying Ilyas came to him and presented him the religion of Islam. Okay? He's not going to listen, is he? Is he going to listen? You can forget it. So the king threatened to kill him, and so did Isabel. And Ilyas got so scared, he ran away into the cave. He ran inside a cave far out into the desert areas, into the cave, and it is narrated again that Ilyas hid from the king of his people in a cave for 10 years. Okay, 10 years.
So is it mentioned in the Quran for 10 years?
No, it's in that book Ibn Khadir, but I will show you the book at the end of the lecture, which is very authentic. Okay? And then while he was in the cave, he was obviously upset because nobody had listened to him. They were all ready to kill him. What's he going to do now? He wants to carry on. He wants to try again. So what he does is he prays to Allah and he says to Allah that let the people of Israel be seized with a famine so that I can then show them some miracle, or Allah can show them a miracle of removing the famine, and then they may believe. Yes? So that is what he asked for. Do you think Allah granted his wish?
Yeah.
Yes. So Allah did send a famine, a very big famine, and it was about 3 years it did not rain. So everything started to die in the land. The cattle, the plants, the crops. Once all that dies, you don't have any food, do you? So are they now going to start thinking about Allah a little bit? Okay? So they were struck with a famine, and when the famine came, then Prophet Ilyas got happy. He thought, you know what? I'm going to go back to the land now. Let's see if they have changed. Okay? And when he went back, the king had changed. His kingdom had been overtaken by another king. Guess who that king was? He was the son of the other king. So nothing's going to change, is it? Okay? His name was Ahaziah, and when he met with him, he told him that this famine has come because of Allah, and if you want to, you should believe in Allah, and the punishment will be removed. Otherwise, the punishment is not going to go. Okay? And then he also said, you know what we should do? Why don't I make a sacrifice of an animal to Allah, and why don't you and the 450 apostles of Baal, the god idol, sacrifice a lamb as well, okay? And whichever one gets burnt from ashes, we will know that that one is from Allah, and Allah is the real Allah. Allah is the real God. That was the challenge that he said. He said, let's all gather together, all on one day, and let all of your people who worship Baal offer a sacrifice. I will offer a sacrifice to Allah, and let's see which one the heavenly fire will come down and burn to ashes. Then we will know who the true God is. Okay? So that's exactly what they did. They got together, and there was a very big area, Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel is where they gathered. That was the appointed place. And all the false apostles, they all offered a sacrifice. And from morning till night, they were all offering the sacrifice. This is the big one which Prophet Elias did in the middle. The king's doing his own one up there. Can you see the pictures? And then after the whole day's gone, they're all waiting what is going to happen. And then, all of a sudden, there was a big bang, okay, and it was Prophet Ilyas's sacrifice that was accepted by Allah, okay, and the fire came from up above and it burnt the sacrifice to ashes, and everybody knew then that he is a prophet and there is a Allah up there. And all of these people who witnessed that, they did all prostrate to Allah. Okay? They got very, very happy. And they all prostrated to Allah. And then a big rain happened because Allah is taking away the famine. And did you know that the whole region turned green after that? Okay? And, like I said, there was a huge number of his people did become believers. All the ones who watched that at least became believers. Okay? How do you think Isabel and the king is going to react to that?
Terrible.
Yeah, are they going to like what happened?
No.
What do you think they may do?
Leave.
Go against the people.
Yeah, what are they going to do to them though?
Kill them.
Kill them. Good. Well done. Good. They're going to kill them. We don't want them in our land. Okay? So, it is narrated again by Ibn Kathir, but they were killed to their last man by the order of the king. Okay? And Isabel, the wife of Ahab, was still not ready to learn her lesson, and she definitely was not ready to believe in Ilyas salam, she actually turned really hostile against him, and she prepared to kill him again, second time round. Okay? And it says that they rejected him and they tried to kill him.
فكذبوه فإنهم لمحضرون عباد الله المخلصين.
But they rejected him, so they will certainly be brought for punishment except the chosen servants of Allah. Now, you should really be looking at the pictures because the picture tells you a lot. What does that mean? But they rejected him, so they will certainly be brought for punishment. Look at the tense that sentence is in, and the picture will give you a big, big clue. What is Allah trying to say will happen to the people who rejected him, including the king and Isabel?
Earthquake.
No, have a look what's going on here. Is this the day of judgment? Yes, day of judgment. So that tense means they will be brought for punishment. Okay? Now, did you know the punishment of this lifetime is less than the punishment of the afterlife? So if you get punished in this lifetime, it actually helps you for the punishment in the afterlife. But the punishment in the afterlife is much, much worse. Okay? So they were doing bad. They were into idol worship. They were into worldly things like money, earning money, spending money in the wrong causes, like building that great big altar. Yes? So that will take them down into hellfire, basically. Okay? But obviously the people who do things for Allah, and everything you do for Allah, even coming to the lecture today is for Allah, feeding the homeless is for Allah, helping the brother there, the doctor there who's come today, who's our guest, is for Allah, isn't it? You writing your books that you bought is for Allah. Yes? You giving out your presents, you bought books as presents for people, that's for Allah. These are all good deeds. That then makes your this weight heavy, doesn't it, for Allah? Okay? This is so important for everybody to reflect on, really, because some people, they are too busy doing this. This is not going to get you anywhere. We all know that. Okay? Only things you do for Allah gets you to places. Some sisters are going and brothers are going to the event after this. That's an Islamic event. Those are the kind of events you should be going to keep you on the deen. Yes? And I've seen so much difference in some sisters who have started to go to Islamic events and they've changed, and that's really nice, you see. So stay on the right path, go to Islamic things. You can get the same happiness from Islamic things than you can get from worldly things, in fact better. What does it say in the Quran? Truly in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. Okay? So this is very important ayah in the Quran relating to this. It says that those people will be punished. They will be punished in the afterlife, which is much worse than getting your punishment in this life. In the meantime, the king and Isabel were again plotting to kill Ilyas salam. So again he retreats to his own cave. Okay? And he hides in there once more, worried about his life. Okay? And then he decides, let me go to the other half of Palestine where I haven't preached people yet. Okay? So then he decides, forget Lebanon, they're not going to change. Let me go to the Judah side, to the other country of Bani Israel. And did you know there was actually an idolatry going on there as well, but less. And there was a different king out there called Jehoram, and he did not listen to him either. He did not listen to him at all. And even though he really, really tried his best, they carried on with their misdeeds and carried on with all sorts, really. And he then reached his old age, okay, and he went back to the cave, and then he did actually ask Allah for death. He said, I want to die now. I can't do any more than what I've done. And he asked Allah for his death. Okay?
وتركنا عليه في الآخرين على إلياسين.
We blessed him with honorable mention amongst later generations. Peace be upon Ilyas. That is actually in the Quran. Yeah?
It's just an observation really, but I thought none of the prophets were allowed to ask for death at all.
They're not allowed to do it themselves. They're not allowed to commit suicide. But if you feel you've suffered enough and you ask Allah, you're leaving it up to him and carrying on with the destiny. Yes? The kismet side of things. So it's up to Allah. He can give it or he doesn't need to give it. Okay, that's the difference. We can't ourselves say, commit suicide, but we can ask Allah, I've suffered enough, I've reached my old age, please take me away now to yourself. Okay? Right. That is what we believe as Muslims. Okay? The Jews believe something else, and this is in the Bible, and I have read the Torah as well. I want to show everybody, just so everyone knows it's authentic information. Now, what they believe, this is so important I cannot tell you, is they believe that he didn't die, but a chariot of fire came and took him up to Allah, alive. Okay, we don't believe that though. Okay, so there's still, this is what is written actually in the Torah. Okay, as they still went on and talked, behold, a chariot of fire and horses of fire separated the two of them, and Elijah or Ilyas went up by a whirlwind into heaven. Okay, there's the reference, 2 Kings 2:11. For this reason came the belief among Jews that Elias will return to earth once again. Hence, when Yahya was sent as a prophet, they doubted if he was Ilyas. So when Yahya came, they thought he was Ilyas, but when they found out he wasn't, they killed him. This is very, very important because the Jews still believe he is yet to come. Okay? We do not believe in this story. Okay? Does anybody know from the interfaith forum which other religion believes that the Bab was a manifestation of Elijah and Jesus?
Baha'i faith.
Baha'i faith. Good. I'm glad you got that. So according to the followers of the Baha'i faith, the Bab is considered to be the reincarnation of both of these, John the Baptist and Elijah. That's what they believe. Okay? But we don't believe that. Okay? This is the tomb of Prophet Ilyas.
إنا كذلك نجزي المحسنين إنه من عبادنا المؤمنين.
Indeed, this is how we reward the good doers. He was truly one of our faithful servants. So he's mentioned again there. Okay? So we know he will inshallah go to Jannah, won't he? We know that already. Okay. Right. He's passed away. Okay? And now, has his mission been completed?
Yes.
No, his mission was not completed. Nobody believed by the time he died. Okay? So someone else has to now come and complete that mission.
Yes.
Do you understand? Yes? And it's going to be his relative. Okay? Who is going to support him. So let's look at our timeline. It's so important you look at the pictures because a lot of the stuff I don't say is on the pictures. So there is Harun's great-grandson, who is Ilyas. And Ilyas's cousin comes along called Al-Yasa. His first cousin. Okay? And he is also the great-grandson of Harun. Yeah, as well. Okay? So let's open up our curtains to the next story. Okay? And there are the two cousins. He is the cousin of Elijah. And did you know that he, in the last days of Prophet Ilyas salam was hiding with him in the cave. So he saw everything that the previous prophet went through. He is mentioned 2 times in the Quran, okay? And if we go on to this, it actually tells us here, okay? So there are sources that claim that Al-Yasa had been hiding with Elijah in a cave in Mount Parsiem to escape from the king of Baalbek. When Elijah passed, he then succeeded him as a prophet. Okay? Now, if you look at Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and you look at his best friend Abu Bakr, Sunnis believe also that he was the next Khalifa, because he knew the Prophet really, really well. He was with him the whole time. He saw the way he conducted himself. He saw all the, the hardships the Prophet went through. And likewise, Al-Yasa was with Ilyas salam. So he saw all his hardships and all the hardships he went through, and he knew what he did to bring people on the right path. So he then succeeded him and said, I'll do the mission. But Allah also made him into a prophet. Okay?
وإسماعيل واليسع ويونس ولوطا وكلا فضلنا على العالمين ومن آبائهم وذرياتهم وإخوانهم واجتبيناهم وهديناهم إلى صراط مستقيم.
We also guided Ismail, Elisha. Remember, Elisha is Al-Yasa. Jonah, Al-Yasa. You say it really nice in Arabic. Jonah and Lot, favoring each over other people of their time. And we favored some of their forefathers, their descendants, and their brothers. We chose them and guided them to the straight path. Okay, that's in Surah Al-An'am. And basically, it says that Elisha or Al-Yasa was sent to the children of Israel after Elijah, after Elias. Allah sent Prophet Al-Yasa as a successor to Prophet Ilyas to help guide the children of Israel. He lived amongst his people and he called upon them to obey the laws and commands of Allah. Not only that, also the laws and commands of Ilyas as well. Okay? He is highly commended in 2 ayahs in the Quran. Okay? And he abided himself by the message and laws of Ilyas as well until he passed away. He did not stop his mission.
واذكر إسماعيل واليسع وذا الكفل وكل من الأخيار.
And remember Ismail, Elisha and Dhul-Kifl, all are among the best. Okay? That's in Surah Sad, chapter 38, verse 48 to 9. And here is his shrine as well. Okay? So he did not give up. He carried on as best as he could. That's all we know about him in the Quran. Okay? And after he passed away, problems started again. Okay? And as soon as he died, there were disagreements and quarreling arose amongst the people, and events took momentum. The events we're talking about are wars and things, and sins increased everywhere, and the tyrants increased again to such an extent that they killed the prophets. Okay? All of that actually is to come. And I don't know if you've noticed, all the kings at the moment are all tyrants one after the other, which is why Allah then chooses 2 prophets to become kings who are coming up. Who are the 2 prophets who are kings? Does anybody know?
Solomon.
Solomon al-Islam, and who was his dad? Dawood al-Islam. Okay, those are the 2. This is why Allah does it, because of the previous kings being so corrupt. Okay, right, you were asking me, brother, where I got the information from. The stories of the prophets by Ibn Kathir, all very authentic information. And also, this actually had a lot of more information even than in this book. This had the explanation of the Quran had deep explanations of what this didn't have this time for this. And I did research the part I told you about in the Torah as well, which I always do for all of these prophets that are more prominent within the Bible and the Torah. Okay, right, we are now going to test your knowledge. How well have you all been listening? Have you been looking at the pictures? Because how much information was in those pictures? You were telling me as well, the pictures tell a lot, don't they? Okay? Right, so we're going to test you all. If you can go on this Kahoot on your mobiles, and then who knows, we may have a new winner today.
Yes.
Oh, good news, Muntaha's not here today, so you've all got a chance to win. Okay, here is the pin coming up. You never know. It's up to Allah, Kismet. Okay, I will explain to the brother what to do, otherwise you won't be able to win. Okay, so the questions will come up. You just have to press the color on your mobile, the color which matches the answer. Okay? It's the color you have to press on your mobile which matches the answer. Okay? The quicker you answer, the more points you get. Promptness makes points. What do points make?
Prizes.
Prizes. Promptness makes points. What do points make?
Money.
Prizes.
This is not what you will find with me. Promptness, no promptness here.
You can try it, but you never know if you will listen carefully. Promptness makes points. What do points make? Prizes. That's what you have to listen. Right, I'm going to start now. Is everybody on there? Azmina, I can't see you. Actually, I can see Azmina. Right, Bina, are you on there?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
Thank you.
I'm warning you all.
Yeah.
We're starting off with double points. Okay? The first question is double points. Here we go. Ready?
I should take the help from my dear children.
Double points. What was the state of the Palestinian region when Yusha passed away? Okay, which one is false? The kingdom of Bani Israel had split into two states and people had become pagans. Isabel made a giant altar of Baal in the city and there were lots of wars. Leaders had become weak and people had moved away from worshipping Allah. People were worshipping Baal, kings were tyrants, and people had become rich. Which one is wrong out of those? Which one is false? All you have to do is to press the color. Right, this was the answer. People were worshipping Baal, kings were tyrants, and people had become rich. I didn't mention people had become rich, okay? I did say these were all correct. The kingdom of Bani Israel had split into two states and people had become pagans. Leaders had become weak and people had moved away from worshipping Allah. And there were lots of wars. And this was correct except for the last bit. People were worshipping Baal, kings were tyrants, and people had become rich. Okay? There are some easier ones you will all be happy to know. Remember, as quick as possible. Okay? Let's see who's in the lead. Mikhail, well done. Wow, he's the youngest one here as well. Okay. Bina, you're second. Wow, what's happened? You said you were wrong.
No, I didn't hear your question and I thought I've done it wrong.
So it's potluck then. You should have said that. Sajda, well done. You're third. Excellent. It's the top three we give out prizes to, but top five are all good. Azmina, I've never seen you in the top five. That's excellent. And Tibby's a newcomer and she won the last quiz and maybe in the top five again. Right, here we go. Which specific area was Prophet Ilyas sent to? Palestine, Israel, Damascus, west of Damascus, Baalbek region of Lebanon. It was the Baalbek region of Lebanon. Remember the god was Baal? Baal, okay?
Okay.
Yes? Remember the god was Baal and it was Lebanon he was sent to. Okay, specifically. But it was all Israel in those days, all Palestine. It's only now those countries have been made. Okay? Right, let's continue. Oh, Sajda in the lead. I could tell because you were really smiling there. Well done. Right, next. How was Prophet Ilyas related to Harun? His son, his great-grandson, his grandson or cousin? Easy peasy pudding and pie. It was his great-grandson. Okay? Don't worry if you didn't get it right, it's okay. No one always is in the top 5 the first time they play. Right, let's have a look at our scoreboard. Mikhail in the lead, Ejaz, you've come in at number 5. And Brother Noman as well, well done. Tibi, you're 3, so that's good. If you're in the top 3, you get a prize. Okay, next. Specifically, where did Prophet Ilyas reside when threatened to be killed by King Ahab? Out of the city in the desert, in the mountains, cave in Mount Qasim, in the other part of Israel, Palestine. Those of you who are looking at the pictures, it was actually written on the place, on the pictures. Oh, you all got it right. I thought you were going to get that wrong. All of you, all 12 of you got that right. That's amazing. So you're all looking at the picture. That's good. Right. Mikhail's still in the lead. Tibi, you're number 2 now. Your face. Right, excellent. Well done. Ejaz, you're going up the scoreboard.
Yes, you're creeping up.
It's creeping up. Right. Let's carry on. How long did he stay there? Easy. 10 years, 10 months, 10 days, 10 hours. It was 10 years. It was 10 years. Oh, Fasila, you've crept in at... where's Fasila? Oh, there she is. She's crept in. Excellent. Right, let's carry on. Tibi, you're still second. Mikhail, I think you're going to win. Mikhail's getting so good at this, isn't he? I know just what to give Mikhail today. What did Prophet Ilyas pray for to Allah? For a famine to occur, for people to return to the right path, for people to stop worshipping idols, for the king to die. What did he ask for? This is also quite easy. Okay, the answer was for a famine to occur. Okay, and his prayers were answered. Okay, Ejaz is going up to number 3, which I thought he would. Mikhail's still in the lead. Number 7, double points, everyone wake up. True or false? 450 apostles of Baal were gathered. Each of them offered their sacrifice in the name of Baal. Prophet Ilyas offered his sacrifice in the name of Allah. The one who's offering the heavenly fire with burnt to ashes will be the one whose faith will be true. Is that true or false? All of those statements. Is it all true or all false? Or some are false? Double points. It was true. There was not a single thing in there that I didn't mention. All of those I did mention clearly. Okay, let's have a look. Yes. Tibi. Oh, that's funny. Yes. Ejaz, you're number 2. Excellent. And Fasila, you've gone up to 3. Huge competition here, isn't there? The only problem is if Fasila wins, it's all her own prizes that she's donated. Actually, there is one. There is one actually that someone else gave me. Actually, no, there's 2 that I can give us. That's fine. Right, next. Number 8. What did the king do to the believers? Burn them, force them to convert back, torture and imprison them, or kill them? Easy. Kill them. He killed them. Okay? Silly man. Okay, Tibi's still in the lead. Ijaz, you're second now. I think there's a competition between Ijaz and Tibi here. Right, next. 9. How is Prophet Al-Yasa related to Prophet Ilyas? His brother, his cousin brother, his son, his friend. This is easy. This one. His cousin brother. Okay? We know that was his cousin. His first cousin, actually. Good. Tibi's still in the lead. Well done. Okay, I think we're coming up to the last 2 questions. And Fasila, you have the highest answer streak of 8. So that's really good, even if you don't get the prize. Double points. Is this true or false? Prophet Al-Yasa was a predecessor to Prophet Elias, Elijah, to help guide the children of Israel. He lived among his people and called upon them to obey the laws and commands of Allah and abiding by the message and laws of Elijah. Not much is known about his life, but the Quran speaks highly of him in the 2 ayahs he is mentioned in. Is that true or is it false? It is false. Can anybody tell me the word that was false?
Predecessor, isn't it?
Predecessor. Did you get that as well? Predecessor.
Predecessor.
It wasn't successor, it's predecessor. Good. So it's actually false. This is going to be interesting now to see the board. Ijaz in the lead. Oh dear. Tibi, you're third. Brother Tariq, you're in the top 5. I don't know what the hell happened there, but it's gone up. And there's a big arrow next to your name. I don't know what that means. He must have jumped from 11 to 4. Okay. Brilliant. Right, last question, everybody. Last question. Double points. Which one is false? Disagreements and which one is false? Disagreements and quarrelling arose amongst the people and events took momentum. This is after he died. Wrongdoers got free reign in the city and the tyrants killed the prophets. People started worshipping idols again. Sins increased everywhere and the tyrants increased. I mentioned all of those actually so at some stage, but which ones happened after Al-Yasa passed away? One of them is false. And the picture actually gave it away. If you were looking at the pictures, that told you exactly what was going on. Look at that. Suspense. Jaws music.
Yeah.
This one. People started worshipping idols again. I didn't mention that. I did mention there were disagreements. I mentioned quarrelling arose amongst people. Events took momentum. I said the wrongdoers got free reign in the city. The tyrants killed the prophets. Sins were everywhere. The tyrants increased. It was a trick one, but I like trick questions.
Do you invent the questions?
Yes, well, where else do they come from? They're exactly according to the story that I told. Of course I meant the questions. Who else does them? Pardon?
Yes, from your speech.
From my speech, exactly. You can tell it is. Right, let's see who's the winner. The third person is Sajda. 2 is Mikhail. And 1 is dun 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 dun. Ijaz. Oh my God. So isn't it? Sajda. Yes, he's dressed up for the occasion. And he's already here and I haven't sorted out his prize yet. Right. Let's give him a pen. Pen up for him. Come in front of the camera. Well done. Let's give him a pen. 1 second. You have from Nepal as well. Number 1. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Actually, you can take a picture, yes.
Should I?
Yeah, he can then send it to me. Yeah.
Very nice.
Excellent. Right, who's next? Mikhail. Mikhail, do you want to come to the front? Well done. Well done. Congratulations. And you also know there's something in there as well. Okay, let's have a photo. If you Excellent, well done. Do you know, it makes me really happy when children win, because they're really listening. And he won last time. And whenever he comes, he always comes in the top 3. Excellent. Right, and the third winner. Do you want to come round? Let's give a big clap, everybody. Mashallah, I'm very impressed with you. You really listen and everything. Thank you. Sajda's also Arabic, so she can understand all the Quranic ayahs.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's to make notes in the lecture.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, let's have a photo. Well done. Right. Very exciting that quiz was, wasn't it? Right.
Well done. You came out nowhere. You wanted to what?
Do you know the good thing about this quiz is you just never know who's going to win, do you? Even at the last question, all of a sudden things can change. But I put the trick question in at the end. Yeah, you wouldn't, would you? Never mind, inshallah, next time. Right. The moral. There's only one moral. What are the meaning, message and moral of this story? Is Brother Tariq, can you tell us that moral, please?
Moral would be to stick to Tawheed.
Right, thank Allah for that.
Continue worship and learn from
Continue to worship
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Allah. Yeah.
And
stay off.
Let's stay on the straight path.
And stay off. What's the P word, everyone? Hello. Stay off the paganism. Okay? Right. This is what happens if you are doing shirk and you're doing paganism, which even this brother knows about, even though he's not born in Britain. But he knows about paganism, about worshipping other idols and stuff.
In my book, the last one
Yes.
of the appreciations
Yes.
about paganism.
Yes, exactly. It's very bad.
Yeah,
It's the only sin that will never be forgiven. Okay? So please, can we look up at the screen, everybody, because the ayah of the Quran's coming up about what happens to you if you idol worship. Okay? Right. And the day those who disbelieved, which means the people who didn't believe in Allah, are exposed to the fire, it will be said, is this not the truth? They will say, yes, by our Lord. He will say, then taste the punishment because you used to disbelieve. Okay? So let me put that on.
ويل لكل أفاك أثيم يسمع آيات الله تتلى عليه ثم يصر مستكبرا كأن لم يسمعها فبشره بعذاب أليم.
Okay. Woe to every sinful liar who hears the verses of Allah recited to him and then persists arrogantly as if he had not heard them. This is so important. People who come to the lectures, you know what's happening. We talk about Tawheed all the time. If you don't do it, then you are in trouble, because Allah will ask you that you already knew. Okay? If you don't know, that's different, isn't it? But if you know you mustn't do it, then why would you then go into that kind of stuff in the first place, basically? So give him tidings of a painful punishment, and when he knows anything of our verses, he takes them in ridicule. Those will have a humiliating punishment. Okay? And I've got another one here as well.
من ورائهم جهنم ولا يغني عنهم ما كسبوا شيئا ولا ما اتخذوا من دون الله أولياء ولهم عذاب عظيم.
Before them is hell, and what they had earned will not avail them at all, nor what they had taken besides Allah as allies. A lot of people say it's okay, we believe in Allah, but it's okay, we can then do everything else. But you're associating partners with Allah, okay, allies. And Islam, by the way, is the only religion in the world that practices pure tawheed. All the other religions have shirk mixed in them. Christianity believe Jesus is the Son of God. Jews believe Uzair is the Son of God. Okay? Islam is the only religion which practices pure tawheed. Okay? So Allah as allies, and they will have a great punishment. Okay? We were talking about paganism and stuff. This country was pagan before Christianity got here. And Christianity came to eradicate paganism. Unfortunately, it continued and it's creeping more and more, and even Muslims are engaging in it. So last time Fasila was asking me again about this kind of stuff, and I have again now put up the pagan wheel, okay? And these are all the pagan festivals which do involve allies with Allah. They do involve it, because they're all based on worshipping other gods, okay? You can look into the history yourself. They are all linked with worshipping other gods, okay? So we should not be engaging in any of these. And if people say, oh, it doesn't matter, I did it the next day, or I did it 3 days later, I'm sorry, the niyyah is still there, okay? Last time, I liked what Sajda said, that the first part of the Shahada is La ilaha illallah. Yes?
Yeah.
There's only one God.
Yeah.
But if you do this, your Shahada is broken in half, and then you're not a Muslim. You can't be then, because the basis of Islam is there's only one God. Okay?
Sorry, sister, can I take a picture of that?
Yes, of course you can. So any form of shirk, if you join others in worship with Allah, then surely all your deeds will be in vain, and you will certainly be among the losers. Okay? That is actually in the Quran. Okay? Many verses tell us about shirk. Right, what was the other moral? And this is linked with the wife of the king who was doing bad, and he quietly sat back and watched it and actually gave her money. Carry on.
Whitewash.
Pardon?
Whitewash.
No, what's the moral there with the wife?
Whoever supports that person will be punished.
Yes, so the king will be punished of a wife if he's quietly sitting back watching her doing bad things. Okay? In Islam especially, men are the leaders of the flock. They are the leaders of the flock. They are the head of the household. Okay? The name of their children is named after them. The religion of the children is named after the father, is it not? Okay? It is from them that Islam genealogy comes. Look at the prophets. It doesn't come from the mother, it comes from the father. So you are accountable as men if your wife is doing something bad and you're not stopping and you're quietly sitting back and you're supporting her. You know that as a scholar. Okay? You will then be asked on the day of judgment, but you knew, why didn't you tell your family? Okay? Charity begins at home. Islam starts at home first. You can forget your dawah and everything else if it's not being done at home. Okay? So, now there is this imam, and he talks about, I have put this video on before, about men being weak when it comes to not leading their family in the right way, okay? He is talking about dress code and things like that, you know, wives not dressing properly and they're going out and then you're accountable. But the context I'm putting this video on is in the way of shirk. because shirk is the biggest sin, which will never be forgiven. And in that context, it's a very long video, this is 1 hour, but I've taken a piece out which talks about a husband being, is it dhaif? Is that how you say it? Dhaif means weak. Okay? But in Islam, you can't be weak. You have to tell them, otherwise you will be answerable. Okay? It's like committing the sin yourself. So I'm going to put that video up because that is a very big moral in this story, because Isabel was doing all of that. The husband was giving her money and she was doing all the bad. So this is just a little bit and you can relate it to shirk.
And I'd like to remind our brothers, how did a man just allow his wife to do that? The Prophet ﷺ gave a name for that man, the youth. How did a man let his wife leave like that? He is the youth. And the Prophet ﷺ said, the man that is the youth, Allah won't even look at him on the day of judgment. He won't even look at you. Your wives and your daughters, you let them go like that. Our sisters should guard themselves and control themselves and understand that they are the flowers of Islam.
Okay, I've just done a little bit, and it was mainly that word, the youth, that I wanted to focus on, which includes everything. Okay, so it is up to the man, the head of the household, to make sure his family is following the right path. But the context here to do with this story is the shirk part of things. Okay, right. Also, this is a very important one. Even if the wife was going that way and making that big altar of idol, everybody doesn't need to follow her, do they?
Yeah.
Okay? So what was happening in this story was everybody was following her because she was the queen of the land. But really, and that was Prophet Ilyas, yes? So we should be with the truth even if you are on your own. Because who should you be scared of, Allah or everybody else? We should be scared of Allah. It's Him who's going to punish us. And that person you're following, are they going to save you on the Day of Judgment? What does it say in the Quran? You will be alone. You're not going to ask that person who you're following to save you on the Day of Judgment. So wrong is wrong even if everyone is doing it. Right is right even if no one is doing it. Okay? And this is what I was talking about. Regardless of what people say or think about you, just remember that the only one you have to please is Allah. Okay? And this is my last slide. After this we will have questions. So if you added up all the good deeds and bad deeds you have done throughout your life, where would you fall in? So basically, one of the morals is we should just reflect on ourselves and see which part of the scale do we fall in. Are we doing more things which are linked in with dunya and the bad? Yes, things that are not related to Islam, basically. Or are we doing things for Islam? Are we, doing praying and all that stuff, everything. Your intention should be Islam all the time. Check your scales on the Day of Judgment. Okay, and what that means is, but you prefer the life of the world, although the hereafter is better and more lasting. So we all need to remember that this life is a very short, it's a journey, okay? And we haven't reached our final destination. So we have to look at the afterlife more, what is in store for us in the afterlife more than what we're doing on this world, okay? Right. And also this is linked to the story. Obviously all this I'm putting up is linked to the story. So the king and Isabel were just thinking of this life with their money and their tyrants and ruling the land and all that. They were not thinking of the afterlife. Okay? Right, questions? Yes?
Yes, you were talking about going to Islamic events. The more you attend, the more ways on your side on the scale of deeds, okay? Does that include, like, I'm going to a Quranic circle tonight, they talk about Surah Al-Imran?
Yeah, Quranic circles.
Zikr as well?
Yes, Quranic circles. Interfaith is good. What we're doing in interfaith, we're doing dawah.
Okay, and zikr
we're telling people about our religion. And we are bringing them slowly to believe. aren't we? Okay? Dhikr, you are praising Allah. All of those things, good. All good things. Okay? Even, now this is so important, it's in your intention. I'm going to give you a really good example. As a king's representative, I go to lots of events. All of them are actually halal. But I cannot tell you how much dawah I do at those events. I do so much dawah. So many people ask me, oh, could you tell me, why do you wear a hijab? Why are you wearing a hijab? So many people ask me, what did you do to get to this role? And I'll tell them, as a Muslim, I did this. And they go, we didn't know Muslims do that. We thought Muslims were terrorists. Yeah? We didn't know Muslims do all that good work. So I'm doing dawah. Okay? I'm giving advice to people. The amount of times I've gone to an event and some of the people...
You do dawah as a DL?
Yes, there are so many ways, okay? Rabbi Lee Sunderland passed away. I was the only Muslim there with a hijab on, and the ladies commended me. They said, we like the way you dressed. You dressed with so much respect, okay? And you came to the funeral, and that's really good. And we thought all Muslims were bad because of Palestine. But now we know you're not that bad. Do you see? Look at what's going on in the media, and you're dispelling those myths. So your intention has to be correct at all times. You can do your dawah, you can mix with non-Muslims. How do I produce reverts, everybody? How do they become reverts then, if you don't even mix with non-Muslims? I'm against that actually, when people say don't mix with non-Muslims. You have to mix with non-Muslims. How are you going to bring them towards your religion? But be good role models. If you're good role models, they will look at you, they will think, oh, that's a nice
role model.
Role model, I like Muslims, and then they become Muslims. Hospitality as well. Okay? Okay, is that a question?
Going on from that, Lee, also, yes. As a Muslim, you are not allowed to live in a land unless you're doing dawah, in a land where there isn't Islam, such as the West.
Yes,
you're only allowed to abide there if you are doing dawah.
That's a brilliant thing. And that brings me on to the paganism. You're a Muslim, you're living in this country, why are you taking on all the religions previous that the witches used to do in a land that is non-Muslim? Stay as a Muslim and show people the right way. Why are so many Muslim people becoming Muslims? You sent me that link. Because they're seeing the good in our religion. They're seeing the good in us.
No, they're looking at the Palestinians and what great people they are.
Yeah, that's the latest.
But the thing is, they're researching it. Yeah? The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit isn't working. Every video that I look at, especially on my base, especially Japan, as I was saying, okay, the more I look into it, I'm astonished. I really am astonished. Okay, and at the end of the day, people are researching it and they're believing basically that women have been given more rights as I was
Exactly. Yes. So show them a good role model, you know? So, okay, Fasila.
It's my duty to point out the shirk to people if they're celebrating things like...
Okay, it's got to be done in a way. It has to be done in a way, okay? And if somebody's completely ignorant of the religion in the first place, they're not sure about the Tawheed, what is Tawheed and the oneness of Allah, you have to start from basics. So the basic of all that is we just believe in one God, and we are not allowed to associate any partners with him, and engaging into these things is associating partners. But the best way I say it is, do you know what Islam came to get rid of? What were the Arabs doing before Islam came? They were doing idol worship. They were pagans. Yes? Whether they were in Saudi Arabia, whether they were in Pakistan, whether they were in Britain, it's the same thing. It's Hinduism. You went to an interfaith forum, you were there with me, and what did the pagan man say? Can you remember the pagan representative? What did he say? And you were shocked. He said, Hinduism is the closest religion to me. We are Hindus, basically, he said. It's a different name, English name, but we're Hindus. Now Muslims very quickly say, oh no, we mustn't follow Hindus. We don't celebrate Diwali, we don't say Happy Diwali, do we? But paganism is the same as Hinduism, then why are we engaging into that? It's the same thing. Okay? So basically, why is this coming up again? Because Prophet Ilyas' message was stop the paganism, wasn't it? Stop the idol worship. That's why we're covering this in the models. All the Prophet's mission was monotheism, monotheism, monotheism. Worship the one.
If I carry on ignoring it and not point it out, then I'm sinning too.
You should point it out. Is it a Muslim?
Some of them are.
Right. Mufti Maik's made a video on this as well, and everybody loves Mufti Maik because he's funny.
He's funny.
So send them that one, that might do it. But I'll tell you something, some people are so arrogant they won't change. They're deaf, dumb and blind in the Quran. Sukmun, bukmun. There you go. That's what they are. You can tell them till you're blue in the face and they still don't get it because Allah has closed their hearts. Also that, like Isabel, they've got someone at home who is practicing this and they're too weak. But when it comes to Islam, you won't be asked, are you weak, or are you this, or are you that? Allah will say, well, why didn't you try? Because what did the Prophet Muhammad say? If you can't change something with your hands, then change it with your mouth.
I have pointed out, they said, their reply was, well, I'm forgetting my culture.
Right, but is that your... Okay, culture is not religion.
Exactly, they're mixing the two.
The culture is not religion.
Always the problem.
Yeah. Culture is not religion, is it? Even Christianity. Did you know St. Peter's School, where my children went, on Halloween Day, they took all the children off the streets and they had some kind of entertainment in the school, and they said, come here, we will entertain the children, let's get them off the streets. Halloween is banned in certain church schools. Okay? Yes.
Feed bubbles to water, but you can't make it drink because we become, accountable from the teenagers. So each person is accountable for themselves as teenagers, right? So even if you say it till you're blue in the face, if somebody doesn't...
It's up to them then, isn't it? But I do my duty here. Okay? Like Fasila, you would have done your duty, then it's up to them. Let them go then. Fine. Okay. You won't be pulling them out, put it that way.
No, that's right.
That's what I said to people. Carry on. I will not be pulling you out if it's a big if. If I go to heaven, I definitely will not be pulling you out. Go to the person who's leading you, let them pull you out then. Sometimes I get really angry. But you know what? So did prophets. Did they not get upset? And I get upset because I've told people.
That's true.
You know what? I find it really upsetting. Especially people who are here and they do it. I can't deal with it anymore.
You cannot make everybody happy.
Yes, you can't. But then it's up to them. I've told everybody.
One of the two stories you're talking about, the lamb sacrificed in the and the other one basically with the prophet did it as well.
Yes.
Why didn't Allah just basically strike the other kingdom down basically? That way people would learn that that's it.
I'll tell you why. Because Allah wanted to give them a more harsher punishment in the afterlife. I've already covered that. So if you punish them in this world, it's going to be lighter. But if you punish them in the afterlife, it's much, much more harsher, isn't it, in hellfire? Yes? So Allah saved them. Wait. He said, you wait till you get up there, because you are going to meet me. We do believe we're going to meet Allah, don't we? This isn't just it, is it? This is not just our life that we're living. We are going to meet Allah and we will be accountable to Him. We know that for sure. It's part of our religion.
So can I just ask you one last question?
Yes.
I've got two friends who are white. They both drink alcohol and they don't believe in God anyway. But the thing is, my friendship basically is having sort of like non-Muslim friends. Okay, I don't interfere in their personal lives. If I was to open my mouth, they will tell me to get lost anyway. Okay, but am I correct in saying they're both personally, what I feel, the way I look at it, they're both going down there anyway? I can't say to their face because I would lose their friendship.
Yeah, we don't know what will happen to them. It's between them and God. However, one thing I will say to you, brother, which I've mentioned to you before, is make Muslims your friends more. They will be your true friends. Okay? The best friends you will have are practicing. Yes, this is very important.
Change your friends.
Yeah. If you stay with practicing people, you become more on the deen. This is in the Quran, is it not? Okay? If you stay with people who are doing all these things, you're going to become like them, are you not? So choose your friends carefully. You know, if you are with families who are doing this kind of stuff, go out, make friends. Out of the family, make friends, make your entertainment life outside in these activities, and that will keep you stronger. Rather than doing activities within the family who are going into all of these shirky type things. Okay?
Friends will always have more effect than friends or family.
Yes, friends have more effect because they are seeing things from the outside looking in. They are outside of the family as well, so they can see what is going wrong. You can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. Yes? The family, they're there whether you like them or you don't. But friends, you choose them yourself. And just now, what did I say to Brother Shahab? I said you've got nice friends because you're nice.
Yes.
He's a good man and his friends are good. Bad people, you'll find they don't even have any friends. There's your biggest clue.
Or they have friends who are also bad.
Also like them. Exactly. So this actually is crucial, what I'm saying. And there's a big difference I have seen in the community when people suddenly do get good friends, and like Sister Jasmine, an excellent example, which Fasila has seen as well. We've seen changes in her, alhamdulillah. She started to come to all the events. She's dressing really beautifully. She's winning the quizzes. Is she not? Winning the quizzes now. And she's a reaver. And she's a reaver. There is your example there. She's a reaver. She is a reaver.
And what I was going to say to you actually, just quickly,
yes.
if you do, I mean obviously I don't know where your status is with Allah at the moment, but if you do choose to embrace Islam fully, I found that the 5 English friends that I had was swiftly replaced by 5 Muslim friends, and that was incredible. Yes. And even now as I'm going along in life, I might have, you know, occasionally have relapses, it's normal. Yes. I might have picked a couple of English friends, but then they've been replaced again by a Muslim one. So it's like, hey, you know, what you do, sort of thing.
Yes, because Allah helps you. Allah helps you. If your intention is right, Allah helps you.
I don't always wear the hijab. I mean, that's my fault.
But she's on the path.
Yeah.
She's on the path. Hopefully. And she's making an effort, and that's good enough, isn't it?
And Sister Aisha, I mean, she's a revert as well.
Yes. Yeah, she was here a second ago. She's just gone.
Yeah, there's another revert sister.
You can have non-Muslim friends, but your deen has to be strong.
Yes, it does. I have got so many non-Muslim friends. I've got English friends. I go out with them.
You have to be strong in yourself.
But you have to be strong. You don't become like them.
Your faith inside should be strong.
Yes, yes, exactly. It doesn't mean don't mix with them. I'll never ever say don't mix with them. But I've got so many, people know I've got so many English friends. In fact, I make more effort with my English friends. The Muslim friends are begging me, come out, let's go for dinner, come on, come to my house. And I'm going with my English friends because I'm bringing them towards Islam slowly, you see. So, yeah, it's very important. Be good role models, but don't join them. No, don't join them. Because you're not supposed to keep your religion.
So make sure people follow you, don't follow them.
Exactly, don't follow them, and especially if it's your family, then you've got to correct them. You have to. Okay? Right, shall we stop now?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, do you want to come and do your bit?
Summing up, so I had not known much about the 2 prophets mentioned today, and which was Ilyas and and Elisha. It was very illuminating and new knowledge for me, and learning and the quiz was very great fun, and everybody participated, which makes it even more interesting and pleasurable. So I'd like to thank Sister Sidra for the great presentation. Let's give her a quick hand for hard work. So next lecture is on Prophet Shamil, which is Samuel, on Saturday 6th of July, 2:30 p.m. And thank you very much for coming, and have a safe journey home.
Inshallah.
Always
Inshallah.
It was very informative. I learned so many.
That's good. See, that's what we want to hear.
And one thing, this book is available online free of
Oh
charge.
yes, this book.
Free of charge. If they have taken this leaflet,
Yes.
my website.
Okay,
is
very
there.
quickly, there are freebies here. These leaflets on the true religion of God is here. These books are free, which the doctor here has donated.
Yeah.
And there's also information here on some charity that you can give to help some poor people, educate them in Islam, in
Orphans.
yes, orphans. We will, inshallah, be having a charity event soon to help him. Okay? And if you do, that will help you right until the day of judgment.
So if we said then my website is there, they can download it free of
Yes.
charge.
So this book can be downloaded free of charge. Okay, leaflets are all here. And your bags match you too.
That's right.